Okay, today let's talk about the brain. Our brain is the least used uh, capability of us. It's really dormant uh, tool we have, really dormant. It is kept in some kind of hostage situation. Like our brain uh, uses the language, and language is very narrow, and also our brain make this holographic reality of us inside of us by our senses. So it makes this inner image inside, and over this image we stitched some languages, human languages, which most of them are really narrow. Some of them are beautiful, but most of them are really narrow and far from expressing the vibration of the reality, the vibration of the thing they describe, or the being they describe, the animal. Those languages don't describe the vibration in itself. I mean, they are far from being in the same vibration than the reality. So they are very artificial languages, and English is the top, maybe, artificial stuff. I remember when I was a kid and I stumbled on this English language. I had a computer at the time. I was very interested into computers, and there was this computing language called BASIC, where you do very simple commands and everything. And I was amazed how the language itself, the English, really works like this programming language, very simple structure, and then you get used to it and it becomes normal. But the first impression of a child is always something very, very truthful in it, very lot of truth. Okay, so this brain is really working in a narrow band, and this scientific people and everything, they tell you are not using your brain, you use only 10% and everything. They are stupid, because they use it maybe less than 10%, because for them this more using of the brain is more use it like a computer, like doing more mathematics, being smarter, having more IQ test mark and everything. So this is the level they are talking. They are fascinated with people that are more powerful than computer and stuff, and can beat them in chess and everything. So this is the level where this humanity is talking about the brain and understanding the brain, because this humanity is still very computerized, in the head. So this crystal we have, liquid crystal we have, which connects with the informational field and is multi-dimensional and everything, has huge potential in it. Sometimes they describe a left side and right side like being the picture, like logic and the artistic. It's very simplistic way that they say again, and it puts you in some kind of duality. But the brain in itself, some scientists say that one side works in a linear way, treats the information in a linear way, and the other side, hemisphere, treats the information in a non-linear way. So it's just a way to treat information, and we need both these stuffs to be in this form for now. So how to free this brain a little bit? Not to free it, maybe transmutate it to work in a different level, because maybe this has not been done before. We are tricked into the past, like people had some capabilities and everything. Most of it is bullshit. Most of it is bullshit, and maybe we are tricked into some time loop. So we have really to walk into like unknown forest. So we have to free this brain. I'm gonna talk about some points that can help us to free this brain, I start by a very important point, because this point is how our thoughts are hurting people. Our thoughts kills people, make them sick, you know. So we need to really understand this. So I give you some example. If one person in your family has a health problem and everything, and you feel that this person is limited, you use your think to judge this person, that she is limited or she has some problem. You are just digging this person more into his problem, you know. You are just digging it more by using your thoughts. So this is an example of sick. This thought we have when we see a sick person, when we see a person having a problem, or when we see an old lady walking in the street, very old, and we have this thinking that she is very old, and we imagine her life, her suffering and everything. So we are making her life more difficult, actually, by the vibration we emit. So in this we create in this reality by the thought, you know, and we make this reality of her more dense, actually. So our thoughts are weapon. They are harming people every day, harming your family, harming your friends, harming the people you don't know. So it's like a sword. You are just playing with it without knowing, and you are hurting people. Left a deep wound into them and scars, and you do it every day for years and years. So what is the best thing to do? Immediately put this sword back into its stuff. It's I don't know how they call it, this stuff where you put the sword. Put it inside its bag and don't use it. And the moment you find yourself that the sword is up and you are using your thoughts to judge or to feel something about the bad situation of other people, other beings, just put it back. You say to yourself, I don't use these swords. I'm harming people without knowing. I did it without knowing, and I'm stopping to do it. And you put it back to the sword. Put the sword back into its hiding place, and don't use it. Don't use it. This is a way to slowly make some purity inside, clean inside and purity. Because most of the people you will see, a lot of them dress good, make perfumes and everything, but inside it's really stinky, you know, the way they use this thought. So learn to yourself to not use, to be do it bit by bit. It's not fighting, you know. It's just habit. We have not been educated to how to use these thoughts. So the conceptual thoughts, don't use it on human beings. Don't use it on living forms. When you see an insect and he's ugly and everything, don't judge him and everything. I mean he might be ugly, you know, but inside you don't judge him with this vibration, you know. So don't use thoughts on living forms. The conceptual thoughts, use them to repair your stuff, to repair your electricity in the house or some stuff, conceptual problem. But otherwise, for the living forms, this is a weapon that harms and kills and wound people, you know. So every time you put the sword back, put it back, and the sword of you, don't even, at the end you will understand it's an illusionary sword. It's not even a weapon to use against your enemy. Don't use it against your enemy. Even your enemy, don't judge him, you know. He is your enemy, but don't use this sword against him, because this sword is an illusionary sword. It's a weapon that harms mostly the people that you like, between brackets, but it's not a weapon to use against anything. You put it back into its bag till you understand that it's an illusionary sword, and it will disappear. When it comes to your enemies, at the right moment, use on them real swords, you know, hammers, baseball bats, you know, Pulp Fiction style. You just go for it, you know. The real action, not this fake weapon. So yes, the day we will discover who did 9/11, who killed 3,000 people, uh, you know, the guy, the reptile who did this or that, I don't know. The guy spraying chemicals like dangerous chemicals and heavy metals on people on a plane, if we find it, we find the guy, the guy, the reptile that invented the religions, mutilating the genitals of young boys. The first one who invented this, who then invented the religion and satanistic religion. This kind of enemies, when we find them, use real tools on them, make yourself happy, like a rusty shovel or something behind the neck, just let yourself free in this case. So I'm not talking about being not in the action and not knowing how to do an action, I'm talking about the purity inside. The purity inside is very important, and purity doesn't mean not making action, it means being pure. As long as there is nothing, we stay pure. At the moment there is action, we do the action. We don't conceptualize the action. So, like I said, keep it always in its place. This sword, don't use it, and till it disappears. And the brain, in this case, discover another field, because when you stop doing something, you free some space. So you see more space of the capability of your brain, because it's not doing this bad habit, of this conceptual thinking over living forms. So yes, so you will see more opening. This brain is like it's like piano, and we learned only to press one key, tang 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 tang, continuously. And then they tell us you can play this key like more than 10%. You can be very good at this key. No stupid scientist, no stupid humanity. We don't see all the fields of this brain. We don't see how much vibration he can produce to change the reality, the direct vibration I'm talking. So all this they tell you create with your thoughts and emotions and stuff. That's really one key level, we are still stuck there, because we have to think about a concept and to produce a little bit of vibration that will change the reality. This is the same vibration that hurts your family and your stuff with the judging, So at the core of it, we don't need this creation with thoughts. We need to free the brain and find the other level of vibration, which is direct, which is not thought, which will change directly the reality. So yes, it is a deep subject. In this video, I will really push on this not using this inner sword, which harms and wound people. The judging, the judging what a person is, what is her situation, what is his suffering or his disease or something. This you don't do. You help practically, you share your knowledge, but inner, keep the purity, and this will open the space for another kind of light frequencies generated by the brain. So I think this is enough for this point. This is the brain series maybe. So the first one is keep the sword inside its bag. And don't use it because it harms, and it makes just suffering of the others. Okay, that's enough for this video. Have a beautiful day.